I'm just recording. And Sue wants this one. So the theme for today is twist. So come down to the mat and come into semi-supine. So let's just take a few moments here and ground into the mat. So really feel that connection with the whole of the spine. So it's good to just rotate through the pelvis a few times and ease the spine down into the mat so that you can feel the whole of the length of the spine. And maybe just have a little shimmy with your shoulders, allowing them to drop down towards the mat. Your hands are just alongside your body. The palms can face down here, just gently having your fingertips touching the floor. We don't usually have our palms facing down because there's a tendency to press your hands into the floor. So you don't want to do that. Just have your hands like almost like claws, but they can stay with the palms facing down. It does drastically change the shape of your shoulders when you do this. Your palms are turned up, you can feel the difference. So make sure your feet are planted into the mat. Just have a little bit of a play with your toes, lift your toes up and away from the mat, and then rest them back down. And check in with the back of your head. See if you can find some length from the crown of your head all the way down the neck into the spine. So you might just need to readjust the back of the head, making sure that, if anything, your chin is slightly tipping towards your chest to give that length in the neck. But try and find that point where you're letting go, you're releasing the back down into the mat. And just take a few breaths here, in through the nose and out through the nose, closing your eyes if that feels good. But just allowing the spine to rest down into the mat. Just noticing how it finds that neutral position. There's very little gap between the sacrum area and the mat. Just a few more breaths here, in through the nose, out through the nose. Just feel the whole of the body sinking down into the mat. And then before we take one more breath, just turn your palms to face up so that your lower arms will rotate a little bit. Your shoulders might feel as though they're a little bit more melted into the mat. And just take one more deep breath here. Just notice the difference. Just a small movement like that can change the shoulders, even the top of the chest. Just rotating the hands. So now take your feet so that they're as wide as your mat. Keeping the knees pointing up to the ceiling. And then take your hands into a cactus position. So have the elbows out to the side and the backs of the hands resting down towards the mat. So don't worry if they won't come down. My left hand won't touch the mat. My right hand much more happy to do it. And then just check in with your lower back here, because when you come into cactus, there's a tendency to lift that lower back. So just take a moment, rest the lower back into the mat. And just using your out breath, just see if you can encourage the backs of the hands towards the mat. And then we're just going to do a little interesting twist. So we're going to be moving opposite arm and leg. So the movement is right knee drops towards the left. It's almost the left lower leg because you're leaving your left knee pointing up to the ceiling. So you're internally rotating that right hip. And at the same time, as you drop the knee into the lower leg, send the palm of your left hand down to the floor. And then breathe in, bring the palm up and rest it back towards the mat, and then swap the knees. So the left knee goes towards the right ankle and the right hand goes down. So it's a real twist through the body. If you think about almost wringing out a cloth, it's that sort of action because you're sending your hips sort of over to the one side and the hands are doing something totally different to try and help to open the side body. So I'll explain it again in case it's not quite clear. So the one knee always stays pointing up to the ceiling as the other knee drops towards the ankle of the knee that's pointing up. So I've got my right knee pointing to left ankle. So the left hand is down, the right hand is still in cactus. So just slowly and gently going through this twist. And the more you do it, the more intense you can make it. Because you can encourage that knee to really come towards the ankle. And you can, in the same breath, try and encourage the back of the hand to the mat, with the other hand just rest down. We're keeping our head in the center here. We're not doing anything with the head and the neck at the moment. Just starting to wake up the torso, and you should be feeling a nice little stretch into the top of the hip that's got the knee pointing to the opposite knee. So we do twists like this to activate the internal organs. It's a really good twist to wake up the body, and doing them in the morning is a really good idea because it does activate the intestines and the bowels. And mornings is a good time for cleansing. So that's why this action is really good. So the next time you drop your right knee over to the left side, make that the last one, come back to center. Just bring your knees in a little bit closer, palms alongside the body. Just take a moment here. And on your next inhalation, bring your knees up and over your chest. And then let the knees go away a little bit so that the knees are above the hips and the legs are just stacked. Your hands can just rest down alongside the body. So it's like we were in all fours with our knees bent here. Holding them in this position. So asking a little bit of your tummy muscles to keep them in that position. So now, keeping the back of the head resting onto the mat, take a breath in. And as you breathe out, extend the right leg out along the mat. Keep the left leg where it is. Breathe in, swap the legs, breathe out, extend the left one. So just gently doing it, you're just starting to wake up front of the tummy muscles. And just be mindful of the lower back here. So try and encourage the sacrum area to come down towards the mat. You will feel this in your tummy muscles, in the core. You're just starting to lengthen out those muscles, which will help us when we come to do our twists. And then the next time you extend your left leg away, make that the last one, bring it back to center. Hug the knees in and over the chest. It's a little bit of release, the tummy and the lower back. And then take your legs back to that position, bent knees. Just hold in this position once more. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, extend the right leg out along the mat. So keep that leg strong. The toes are pointing up to the ceiling. So your left arm is going out into a T shape. Your right hand is going to the outside of your left knee. And take a breath in here. And as you breathe out, you're going to encourage that knee to come over towards the right. So you can hook your left foot behind the right back of the thigh. And if your neck's feeling okay, take your gaze to the left hand. So don't push on the leg, just encourage with the weight of your right hand to get into a little bit more of a twist here. Breathe into that twist. Don't forget to breathe. And then breathing in, head back to center, knee back to center. Send the leg out along the mat, send the right hand out into a T shape. So just laying out on the mat here, releasing the back. And then bending your knees, take the feet back up into that, like the all fours position, but with the knees up in the air, the legs out in front of you. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, send the left leg away. Keep that foot strong. So you're pressing the back of the legs into the mat. Right foot hooks behind the left thigh. Left hand just rests on that knee. Encourage it over. Your gaze can be to your right hand. So you're breathing into that open side here. Starting to get this twist into the body. Keep breathing. Breathing in, back to center with the head, with the knee. Bring the knees up and over the chest. Just have a little roll here from side to side. And then we're going to roll ourselves up from the mat. So we're going to do this a few times. So take your hands to the backs of your thighs and just gently start to roll to start with. Just easing into the spine. And then when you're ready, roll yourself up. So we're going to do a few of these rolls. So as you roll up here, take a breath in. As you breathe out, release your hands, roll yourself all the way back down to the mat. Extend the legs. Let the hands rest alongside the body. Breathing in, bring the knees up towards the chest, hands to the back. Breathing out, bring yourself back up. So 3 times we're going to do this. So breathing in, releasing, breathing out, down to the mat. Breathing in, knees up and over the chest, hands to the back of the thighs. Breathing out, bring yourself up. Breathing in, reaching the hands forward, breathing out, releasing down to the mat. Breathing in, knees up and over the chest, grab the thighs, bring yourself up. Well done. Wakes up the core a little bit. So we're going to come into all fours now. So just swing your legs around, and this is where we need the 2 blocks or 2 books. So another little thing I pinched from the weekend, so Sue will know this. So we're going to place our blocks. We're going to do cat-cow. So imagine where your hand goes. So I've got that block under my right hand at the moment, and my left hand to the left of it. And then my knee, my left knee is going to go on the block, and my right knee is on the floor. So it's like a wonky position. It's going to be a wonky cat-cow. But there is a reason, a really good reason to do this. It's a really good way to get deep into the muscles in your back. So where your shoulder blade is, if you just go to the center where the spine is, there are muscles that run up alongside the spine, and they're called the rhomboids. And we don't often get into them because we tend to just work, around the back and the trapezius muscle and into the side. So this really gets into those muscles. So let's give it a go. So when your right hand is raised, your left knee is raised. So come to your all fours. So think about finding that flat back, which is a challenge here. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, round the spine, come up into cat. Breathe in, breathe out. Lead in with the chin and the chest. Come into cow pose. So can you notice the difference here as you squeeze the shoulder blades together? You really feel that left shoulder blade coming towards the center, much more than, the right shoulder blade, much more than the left. Breathe in, breathe out, cat pose. Breathe in, breathe out, cow pose. So it's amazing how just a little adjustment like this can really change the stretches in the body. So breathe in, breathe out, cat pose. Breathe in, breathe out, cow pose. Breathe in, breathe out, cat pose. Breathe in, breathe out, cow pose. Well done. Come back to all fours and swap the blocks or the books over. So block under your left hand, block under your right knee. Come back. So we're going to work into the rhomboid muscle on the left hand side this time. So taking a breath in, breathing out, cat pose. Breathe in, breathe out, cow pose. So I think what happens is when you squeeze your shoulder blades together here, because it's a bit more compressed on the left side, you really work into that left rhomboid. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, because your right hand is further away, you're having to reach into that right hand to keep the flat back position, and therefore you're working more into the right hand side. So I hope you're feeling that. So let's breathe in, breathe out, cow pose. Breathe in, breathe out, cat pose. Breathe in, breathe out, cow pose. Breathe in, come back to center. Just come off the blocks and just do one cat-cow now in our normal position and see if you can observe the difference. So take a breath in, breathe out, cat pose. Breathe in, breathe out, cow pose. Breathe in, come back to all fours. Different, isn't it? Really, really feels quite different, I think, into your shoulders. So I hope you could feel that. So we're staying in all fours. We're going to add a little twist in. Bring your right hand up behind your right ear, elbow out to the side. Take a breath in, open up the elbow to the ceiling. Breathing out, take the elbow to the opposite elbow. Breathing in, opening up to the ceiling. Breathing out, elbow touches elbow. Once more, breathing in, really twisting into the waist. Breathing out. And then place your hands back on the mat. Let's swap hands. So breathe in, left hand up behind your ear. Take a breath in. Open up. Breathing out. Opposite elbow. Breathing in. Breathing out. And the back should feel a bit more mobile here. Breathing in. After those stretches, breathing out, elbow to elbow. Hands back to the mat, back to all fours. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, lift your knees and your hips, downward facing dog. Just have a walk through the feet here. Send the heels to the mat, one then the other. Drop your head through your arms, keeping the ears in line with the inner arms. And feel that you're sending your ribs towards your thighs. And then let the heels settle. Just take a few breaths in down dog. Enjoying that lovely stretch. And then bring your feet just slightly closer, about the length of one of your feet. So we've made the gap a little shorter. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, take your right hand to your left ankle and just pull your chest through and under the arm. So we're adding in a little twist here. Your gaze is under your left armpit. Just take a breath. And then release the hand back to the mat. So we're going to do the same on the other side. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, left hand around your right ankle. Taking your gaze under your right armpit. So you're really using the left hand to pull your chest through. Breathing in, take your hands back to the mat and just release the knees to the mat, sliding back into child's pose. Just take a moment to let everything settle. You were upside down for a little bit there. And then breathing in, come back to all fours. Realign your knees, toes into the mat. Take a breath in, breathing out, downward facing dog. So taking a breath in here, take your weight into your left foot as you float your right leg up into the air. Breathing in, breathing out, bring the right knee to the right elbow. Breathing out, extend the leg. Breathing in, right knee to left elbow, adding in a little twist. Breathing out, three-legged dog once more. Breathing in, rounding the spine, drawing the knee up to the center, and then sending it forward and through. Drop the left knee down to the mat. So plant your left hand down onto the mat. Take a breath in. Float your right hand up. Opening up the chest here. Take a breath in here. You can stay in this position, or if you want something a little stronger, straighten the back leg. Reaching up to the ceiling. Breathing in. Breathing out. Take your hand back to the mat. Release your knee to the mat, if that's where you are. And then coming back into this lunge position. So left knee down on the mat, right foot in front of you, taking a breath in, sweep the hands up, reaching up to the ceiling, arms alongside the head. Taking a breath in, bring the palms together, and as you breathe out, bringing them down the midline, take the left elbow to the right thigh. So you're keeping the palms in the center of your chest as you twist the chest around to the right. So adding in this nice little twist here. So from this position, you can keep your back leg down, or if you want to add a bit more in, extend the back leg. So keeping that twist. I'll get rid of the naughty dog in a minute. Taking a breath in. Take your gaze to your right foot. Release your hands alongside you. Step forward and drop down to Uttanasana. Forward fold. Rid of the barker. Okay. So forward fold, Uttanasana. Just take a breath in here and very slowly come up. Reach your hands up and overhead. Sliding the hands all the way down the midline, back down to the mat in Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathing in, take your hands to your shins, half forward fold. Breathing out, bring yourself back up. Just stand in Tadasana. Everyone okay so far? Good. We just got to do the other side. Get those twists into the other side. So taking a breath in, reach your hands up and overhead. Breathing out all the way down through the midline, hands to the mat, and step back into downward facing dog. So back to where we were to work on the other side of the body. So taking a breath in. As you breathe out, right foot into the mat, left leg extends. Three-legged dog. Breathing in, draw the left knee to the left elbow. So you sort of shift the body weight forward. Breathing out, three-legged dog. Breathing in, left knee to right elbow. Getting that little twist. Breathing out, three-legged dog. Breathing in, bringing the knee up to the center of the chest, rounding the spine. Drop the foot forward and through. Drop the right knee down to the mat. So your right hand is planted. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, extend the left hand up to the ceiling. So you're looking and following that left hand. Getting that nice twist. Breathing in. Breathing out. hand back to the mat. So taking a breath in here, let's float the left hand back up. And we're going to add in the extra option, back leg can extend. Or you can stay on the back knee, the right knee. Breathe in, breathe out, hands back to the mat, drop the knee to the mat. Taking a breath in, float both hands all the way up to the ceiling. Reaching alongside the ears. And then breathing in, bring the palms together, all the way down the midline. Take the right elbow to the left thigh. And remembering we want these, I'm going to switch around, I can't see you. We want these hands to be in the center of our chest. So we're really twisting the chest around here. So keep breathing. So you can stay in this position, or if you want a bit more, breathing out as you extend the back leg. So from this position, we've got a little bit of a wobble going on maybe. Take a breath in, take your gaze to your right, your left foot. Release your hands, step forward. And then fold down to Uttanasana. Breathing in, take your hands out wide, come all the way up. Breathing out, all the way back down to the mat. Uttanasana. Breathing in, hands to the shins. Find that half forward fold. Take a breath here. Breathing in, come all the way back up. Hands to the heart center. Just take a moment and let everything settle. Okay. So we're just going to do one more little set of moves before we get into our much anticipated grasshopper. So taking a breath in, reach your hands up and overhead. And as you breathe out, come all the way down to the mat, release your knees, come into all fours. So just be careful with the knees here. You might want a little bit of extra padding. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, extend your right foot behind you and drop the inside of the foot down to the mat. So you might want a bit of padding under the left knee. And you can have a block under the left hand too. That's another nice way of doing this pose. So bring your right hand up behind your right ear and just send the elbow up to the ceiling. So gently start to open out, coming into that little twist, that opening of the chest. Breathe in, breathe out. Extend the hand up to the ceiling. So it's a little bit like a side plank. Breathe in, breathe out, just float the hand behind you and bring it to, so the back of the hand touches the left hip. And see if you can take your gaze up to the ceiling, just looking over your right shoulder. Just starting to open up the chest, getting a little bit of a twist in here. Breathing in, float the hand all the way up and overhead, over the ears, reaching forward. Breathing out, hands back to the mat, knee back to the mat. We're going to do the same on the other side. Just going to turn around so I've got my back to you. So from all fours, take a breath in, Breathe out, send the left leg behind you. Drop the inside of the foot down to the mat. So feel quite stable here. Remember, you can pad your right knee. Take a breath in and take your left hand to your left ear. So the elbow opens up to the ceiling. Make sure you're stacking your shoulders one on top of the other. Left elbow is above your right hand. Breathing in. Breathing out. Reach the hand up to the ceiling. Breathe in. Breathe out. Send it back and behind the body. Back of the hand touches your right hip. So you're really opening through the top of the body here. Opening the chest, dropping the left shoulder back. And you can gaze up towards the ceiling if the neck feels okay. Breathing in, float the hand back up and over alongside your left ear, reaching overhead. Breathing out. Hands back to the mat, back to all fours, and just sit back on your heels. So, grasshopper, we said. Let's give it a go, shall we? So you might just want to watch me to start with. So to get into grasshopper, which it was described to us as one of the most impressive looking yoga poses. When you see people doing it, you think, oh God, I'll never be able to do that. But it's easy. You will be able to do it. So it's nice to get to a pose that's classed as impressive, but we can easily get into it. So we're going to sit up in Dandasana, and then you bend your left foot and you place it over the extended leg. So the toes point out to the sides. That really helps you to ground that foot. And then your right hand, you're going to come down to the lower arm. Just make sure you see everything here. So lower arm. So I rest my right elbow down onto the floor. Now I'm going to reach with my left hand to my foot. This might be where you need a strap. So if you can't get hold of the foot, then just put a strap around and grab hold of the foot in that way. But I reckon you can do it. So you just move yourself forward, you grab hold of the foot. So the foot's already coming up off the floor. Right hand is resting down into the mat. All you're going to do, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to lean into that foot, and lift yourself up. And that, my friends, is grasshopper. You can do it. So let's try again. So we sit up, we fold this knee, the left knee, bring it over to the side, rest the right elbow down, reach for that foot, and the foot will come up off the floor, and then you lean into the pose and lift yourself up and away from the mat. We just have a look at you and see how you're doing. That's it, that's it. That's it, Michelle. Just left, right. What's happening here? Yeah, your left foot is down. Is the left foot on the floor? I can't quite see it. Yeah, Brill. So push into the sole of that foot and you lean into your right arm and your hips will come up. It will, it will, it will. Yes. So let's see. Jill, you were doing it. Brilliant. And Sue, did you get there? No, Neil, no, not on that hip. So Julie, how are we doing? That's it. Reach the foot, lean into the, yeah, try and bring your right elbow a little bit closer into your body, and then you're going to lean more into it. repeat how we're doing. So you've got your foot. Yes, yes, yes. You've done it. And see that feeling of joy when you get to the balance. So the other thing that you can do is once you practice it a few times, you can do it with the hands straight and the hands out a little bit, and then you can really lift yourself up. See? And then place the bum down. So let's try the other side. So left leg stays straight this time. No, that's not right, is it? I need to be this way. So left leg bends over the right. Is that what I've just done with you? No, 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 no. It is. Left leg stays straight, right leg bends over the foot. Left hand is the one that's going to bend and come down to the floor, and your right hand is reaching for the left foot. And then lift up. And one side might feel totally different to the other. You might get into it much more easily on the other side. There we are. And maybe you can try it with the hand straight, lifting up into grasshopper. And it feels good when you get there, doesn't it? And what's more, it's fun. That's the thing. It's fun. It's good to have a bit of fun with our yoga practice. Well done, everybody. So let's just finish with one more twist, a little bit more traditional. So in fact, let's have a little rest first, shall we? So knees wide, toes together, slide the hands forward. Just take a few breaths in Balasana. Just let everything settle. And then breathing in, bring yourself back up to all fours. So we're going to go back into that little stretch that we did a moment ago, not grasshopper, don't panic. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, send the right foot behind you, drop the inside of the foot down to the mat. Now this time, we're going to take the left lower leg out to the side. So we're sort of supporting the body a little bit more so that we don't fall to the left. So taking a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to bring your right foot up into the air and take the right hand to meet it. So we're just doing a little balance here. Take your gaze up to the ceiling, over your right shoulder. Just bringing in a little bit of an opening and a twist. And a balance at the same time. Breathing in. Breathing out, let go of the foot, extend it back behind you, and windmill the hand all the way back to the mat. So realign your knees. We're going to do the same on the other side. Lower right leg goes out to the side to give you that support. Left leg extends. Drop the inside of the left foot to the mat. Taking a breath in. As you breathe out, just reach back for that foot. And really open through the chest here. Looking over your left shoulder. Adding in the balance. Breathe in. Breathe out. Extend the left leg. As you release the foot, float the hand back, float the leg back, sit back onto your heels. So from this kneeling position, just sort of wiggle your hips so that they fit down in between the heels. Now, if this isn't good for you because of your knees, then take a couple of blocks and put them between your hips and your heels. Or if it feels good, just have a little wiggle so you're sort of sitting in that V shape between your feet. Nice straight spine. Taking a breath in, float your hands up and overhead. And as you breathe out, twisting around to the right. And then float the hands down to the mat. So right hand behind, left hand is just resting towards your right thigh. So if this doesn't feel good for you, you can release your feet in front of you and do it in Dandasana. So that's better for your feet, yeah. So just release. It's still giving you the nice twist. And then breathing in, float the hands all the way back up. Turn it to center, release the hands. So when we do this reach with the hands, there's a reason for it. Not just to make it look nice. As if you think about it when we do it on the left now. So breathing in, reach the hands up. So you're really lifting the arms and the hands out of the shoulders. And as you do that, you lift your ribs away from your hips. So you're making more of an area that will twist, that squashy place there between the bottom of the ribs and the hips. So you're reaching, you're extending into that area, and then as you breathe out, that's the area that's twisting. And then you float your hands down. If you try and twist while keeping that area stuck down, if you try it, afterwards, you'll see you won't get anywhere near into that twist. And that's the reasoning behind it. Just looking over your left shoulder. Just take a few breaths. Breathing in, back to center. Breathing out, release. So just release your legs out in front of you if you were kneeling. Just going to do one final twist before we come down to the mat. So find your Dandasana. Sit up straight and tall, relax the shoulders. Take a breath in, bend the left knee and place the foot over to the right. No, I'm not getting you back into Grasshopper, don't panic. So take a breath in and reach your right hand and let it cup the left knee. And then the left hand sweeps all the way around behind you and you're looking over that left shoulder. So as well as this twist, we're getting a nice stretch into the left hip. Keeping a nice straight spine, keeping the left foot well planted onto the mat. And you can add some strength in the right leg if you keep that foot pointing up to the ceiling. Breathing in, float your hands all the way back up. Release hands and leg. So doing the same on the other side, breathing in as you bend your right knee, take it over the leg, plant the sole of the foot. Breathing in, extend the left arm, just cup the left knee in the elbow. Breathing out, right hand comes behind you. Gazing over the shoulder. Keep that left foot active if you want some extra strength in the leg. Point the toes up to the ceiling. And then breathing in, release back to center, release the leg. And very slowly, just lower yourself back to the mat. Hug the knees up and over the chest. Just have a little roll, a little massage. Do what feels good. And place your hands on your knees, have your toes together, and just draw big circles with your knees. Just releasing into the hips. And then change the direction of those circles. And then just release your feet down to the mat. Slide them away. Excuse me. And set yourself up for some relaxation. Come down into your Shavasana with your layers if you need them. Just taking a few moments to release your body down into the mat. Thinking back to your practice, all that anticipation of Grasshopper. So think about the joy that it gave you. It's so lovely when you do something that's a little bit different. You can feel something different happening in the body. And even if you don't quite get there, it's still a fun thing to do. It's what yoga is all about. Doing what's good for you. So just taking a few deep breaths here. In through the nose. Out through the nose. Just allow the whole of the body to settle down into the mat. Your arms are resting alongside the body, palms facing up this time. Relaxing the shoulders down into the mat. Feet are slightly wider than hip distance apart. Let the toes drop out to the side. Feel how that relaxes the legs and the hips. Releasing from your forehead. Any frown you may be holding there, just let it go. Relaxing your face, your jaw, your mouth, your tongue. Just let it sink in the bottom of your mouth. Relaxing your neck, over your shoulders, down your arms, past your elbows, to your wrists, your hands and your fingers. Just breathing in and out. Letting go that exhalation. Feel the whole of the spine connecting with the mat as you release and sink a little deeper. Releasing down the back body, all the way to the hips. Just letting your hips drop open. Releasing down your thighs, your hamstrings, your knees and the backs of the knees. the calves and the shins. Letting go all the way to the ankles, the feet, and the toes. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. And I'll just read you a nice little reading from the Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh. It's called A Practice for Touching Peace. Conscious breathing is the most basic Buddhist practice for touching peace. I would like to offer you this short exercise. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment. I know this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. This is like drinking a glass of cool water. You feel the freshness permeate your body. Breathing out, I smile. One smile can relax hundreds of muscles in your face and make you master of yourself. Whenever you see a picture of the Buddha, he is always smiling. Dwelling in the present moment. We recite this line as we breathe in again, and we don't think of anything else. We know exactly where we are. I know this is a wonderful moment. We recite this as we breathe out again. To be truly here, now, and to enjoy the present moment is our most important task. To bring some awareness back into your body now. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rotate your wrists and your ankles. With your next inhalation, float your hands up and overhead and do a full body stretch from your fingers to your toes. And as you breathe out, just allow the hands to rest on the floor behind you. Breathing in, bend your knees, plant your feet on the floor. And as you breathe out, roll over onto your right hand side. Just hug your knees a little closer to your chest. Just give yourself a touch. And when you're ready, in your own time, bring yourself up to seated. Everyone okay? Good. So let's finish with our 3 breaths together. So sitting up straight and tall. Hands to the mat on either side. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out. Hands to the heart center. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.